Today, we're diving into a fascinating and kind of complicated new world. We're talking about a new kind of therapist, one that literally lives inside your phone. But this isn't just a cool new app. It's sitting at this really risky intersection of tech, health, and a huge, huge question about safety.
So let me start by asking you a question. Just think about the apps on your phone for a second, the way your grocery store is laid out, even how your city designs its parks. Do you think that's all just random? Or is it possible they're all carefully designed to, well, to get you to do something specific?
Well, the answer is a resounding yes. It's a whole science, actually, called choice architecture. It's like this invisible framework that shapes the choices we make every single day. And trust me, it is a powerful, powerful tool.
And this is where things get really interesting, because those same design principles that might nudge you to toss a bottle in a recycling bin, they're now being used in a much more personal, much more high-stakes area, your mental health. So to really get what's going on here, we've got to start with the basics. Let's talk about this foundational concept of how our choices are designed in the first place. Choice architecture is all about the context, the environment in which you make a decision. It never forces you to do anything. Instead, it just kind of nudges you toward a certain action, usually by making it the easiest or most obvious choice. And you've seen this stuff everywhere, I guarantee it. Putting recycling bins right next to the trash cans so you don't have to think about it. Or smart meters that show you exactly how much energy you're using. These are all subtle little nudges that just make the better choice the path of least resistance.
Okay, so you've got this idea of nudging. Now, let's connect it back to something much, much bigger. We're making a huge leap here, from nudging simple habits to trying to treat complex psychiatric conditions. Let this number sink in for a second. 57.8 million. According to federal data, that is how many adults in the U.S. are living with a diagnosed mental illness. And get this, between 2019 and 2023, the number of people looking for care shot up by almost 40%. The system is just overwhelmed. So, into this massive gap steps technology. Developers are rushing to create these AI-powered chatbots designed to give people mental health support. They're basically AI therapists. And yeah, they promise to be super convenient and accessible, but they also open up a whole new can of worms. And that leads us to the billion-dollar question. When does a helpful little app cross the line and become a medical device? More importantly, who gets to decide? This is where the regulators have to come in.
I mean, this is the critical question, right? If an app is going to offer to treat your depression or diagnose your anxiety, somebody has to be responsible for making sure it actually works. And, that it doesn't make things worse. Here in the United States, that job falls to the Food and Drug Administration, the FDA. Their whole mission is to make sure that medical treatments, whether it's a pill or a piece of software, are reasonably safe and effective for people to use.
Okay, so check this out, because this is the really important distinction the FDA makes. On one side, you've got your general wellness apps. Think of an app that just gives you a daily coping skill. The FDA sees that as pretty low risk. But on the other side, you have what's called a digital medical device. This is something that claims to actually treat a condition, like providing therapy for depression. That has a real potential risk, and it absolutely has to be reviewed and approved by the FDA.
So the FDA has a playbook for this stuff, a system that's all based on risk. But, and this is a big but, we're about to see why generative AI is this new kind of player that just doesn't follow the old rules. The system itself is pretty straightforward. Medical devices get sorted into 3 categories. Class I is for low-risk stuff. Class 2 is for things with a moderate risk that need extra controls. And then you have Class 3. That's for the high-risk devices that have to go through intense testing to prove they're safe before they ever get to the public. Now, this is the part that really got my attention. The FDA has given the green light to over 1,200 medical devices that use some form of AI. But out of all of those, want to guess how many were authorized for mental health? The answer is 0, not a single one. And that's not a mistake. It's a huge sign of just how challenging this new field really is. So what is it? What makes these AI therapists so different that they seem to break the whole regulatory system? Well, it all comes down to the fundamental nature of generative AI itself. It's unpredictable. This right here is the heart of the problem. See, normal software is predictable. You put in X, you get out Y. Every time.
But generative AI has what they call unbounded outputs. It can say things its creators never planned for. It can confabulate, which is a fancy way of saying it can just make stuff up. Its answers can change over time. And it can pick up all the hidden biases from the data it was trained on. So how on earth do you prove something is safe when its very nature is to be unpredictable?
So, all of this brings us not to some neat and tidy conclusion, but to a whole bunch of really hard questions that we as a society now have to figure out. We are standing right at the edge of a new frontier, and honestly, the map hasn't been drawn yet.
And that's really the ultimate question we're left with. All of our safety models, everything we've built, it's all based on predictability. But this new technology is designed to be dynamic, to evolve, to constantly change. Figuring out how to build a safety net for that, well, that's one of the great challenges of our time.